And we are taking a look back at 2020 here on Radio Wales Sport tonight. It is the turn of darts next. The PDC World Darts Championship in Ali Pali continues. Just last month, Wales won the World Cup of Darts for the first time. I'm pleased to say I'm joined now by Dylan Williams, who runs PDC Cymru. Good evening to you, Dylan.
Hi, evening, Bethan. You okay?
I'm very well, thank you. And when we do look back at such a difficult year for everybody and for sport, all sports in general, when you do look back at darts and how the sport has adapted, how would you sum up the way the sport has managed to cope?
Yeah, I'd probably say the PDC has led the way, in the sport's safe return. From an early stage, the PDC recognised that darts could adapt, and continue during the early days of lockdown. And we saw, early on in lockdown that they introduced the PDC Home Tour, which was the only, at the time, UK-based sporting competition being played during that period. The tournament was broadcast from the players' homes, over 43 nights of darts between April and June. A massive operation, and you have to congratulate the PDC for giving back in those early days live sport, which is what all us fans were looking for after those long days in the house. Yeah,
absolutely. Am I right in saying that the PDC have received an award for the way the sport has managed to continue?
Yeah. After we saw the early home tour operation, with the return to competitive darts, they handled a hugely successful staging of summer, autumn, and winter series tournaments, and they've deservedly been recognised with numerous awards for the way they've protected the players and officials, and I think more importantly the way they've actually communicated with players from across the globe. So I think if we're looking for good practice in what's been a really negative period, the PDC are definitely a body that can be other organisations and the sports could turn to for support.
And with regards to the home tour then, it must have been such a strange experience for the players to be competing in their own house, in their own home. How did they respond to that? What reaction did the players have to that different way of competing?
Yeah, I was thinking back to the first night, because Jamie Lewis from Cardigan was involved in that opening evening against Peter Wright, and I just remember the actual standard and the quality of the streaming wasn't that good really, and I was just thinking I'm not sure if this concept's going to work, but to be fair, every night the standard of the streaming, the quality of the pictures being streamed to our homes was getting better, and to be fair, the players got used to the format, and we were seeing people hitting 9 darters from the comfort of their own kitchen, which was brilliant, and something in years to come somebody can look back and say, oh yeah, do you remember when we had COVID, and look back at a really positive experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can only guess, though, Dylan, that just a few weeks ago possibly would have been the highlight for darts in Wales, with Jonny Clayton and Gerwyn Price winning the World Cup of Darts for the first time.
Yeah, when I first started the channel PDC Cymru, it was for nights like that, really. It was to draw attention to the success of Gerwyn and Jonny and other players on the tour. But going back to the World Cup success, Wales had come close on 2 previous occasions, 2010 and 2017. We were runners up to the Netherlands, but heading into the 2020 World Cup, we were second seeds. But I think a lot of people, could see the form that Gerwyn and Jonny were carrying into that tournament. They were hotly tipped. They were the pair to beat, and they walked past Russia in the first round. Bit of a stumble against Scotland. Jonny lost a singles match, but it was the pairs, the doubles match that carried them through, and that's what carried them through the whole weekend. Really, as a pair, they were undoubtedly the strongest pair in the tournament. The quarter-final against Australia could have gone either way, because Whitlock did have match darts against Gerwyn to win that first singles rubber, but he managed to win it. Jonny unfortunately lost against Damon Heta, but then again the pairing brought it home, and to be fair, they blew Germany away in the semi, and beat the old enemy England in the final 3-0.
Yeah, the top seeds as well. With regards to both those players individually, we take a quick look at Gerwyn Price first. If you do look back at his year, in terms of titles won, it's been a great year for Gerwyn Price, hasn't it? It's been fantastic.
It's been unbelievable, really, Bethan. You know, I was looking at some stats before the World Championship started, and you know, in the last 25 years, apart from Phil Taylor and Van Gerwen, only 2 other players have won the most PDC titles in a calendar year. And that was Van Barneveld in 2007 and Gerwyn in 2020.
Goodness.
So whatever happens in the Worlds, you know, he will join a very exclusive group. So eight titles in 2020, 15 in his career now, and, you know, winning his 3rd major back in October by winning the World Grand Prix. So you know, going from strength to strength, really, and hopefully, you know, the next couple of weeks we might see him capture the world title in Alexandra Palace. Yeah,
absolutely. Let's take a look then at Jonny Clayton. A successful year, but of course for him as well. But personally for him as well, because I think you mentioned before the fact that he wanted to be able to perform better when the cameras were on him.
Yeah, you know, early on in the year, especially with the home tour, we saw, you know, Jonny from the comfort of his own home. He was comfortable and playing really good darts. But as I said, early on in the year, he'd said he wanted to perform on the majors in front of the cameras, and we've seen him do that this year. You know, he was the runner-up in the German Darts Championship, and he's gone to the semi-final of the UK Open and the European Championship. So, you know, things are going in the right direction for Jonny. I think the old argument with Jonny is he still works as a plasterer for Carmarthenshire County Council, and people are saying, do you think it's time, Jonny, to give up the day job and, you know, put everything into darts? And, you know, will that be the next step that takes you from the border of the top 16 into the top 10? You know, the arrangement seems to work well for Jonny. He likes the balance of work and darts. I think his employers are quite cool with him, you know, leaving work on a Thursday to go and play in a tournament. So, you know, a happy dart player is a successful dart player in my eyes. So, whatever works for Jonny, I'm happy for him to continue in that vein.
Absolutely. Another Welshman, you've already mentioned him, Jamie Lewis, another Welshman, he's making a name for himself, and he's had a pretty good year, but he's also had a positive year for himself personally, hasn't he? He's overcome some personal issues this year as well, hasn't he, Jamie Lewis? Yeah,
it's been a tough year on and off the oche, really. You know, he's had a tough year on the Pro Tour, you know, posting some poor averages, you know, to what we know Jamie can perform like. And in the Euro Tour a couple of weeks ago, I think he'd hit rock bottom, and he came out quite plainly saying that he was having anxiety issues. So to be fair, kudos, you know, to the PDC and the Players Association. They've really helped him out. They've put him in touch with the people who can help him, and, you know, I think we saw the fruits of the labour whoever's been helping him. And to be fair to Jamie, the work he's put in on the practice board last night, you know, losing 2-0 against Luke Woodhouse, and showed some real character to come back to win 3-2.
Yeah, absolutely. Time is short, unfortunately, but before you do go, I just want to quickly mention as well, we can't look back at 2020 without mentioning Wayne Warren as well, the BDO World Championship winner.
Yeah, of course, back in early January.
Long time ago now.
yeah, it seems like a lifetime away, doesn't it? But in the BDO World Championship, he took on a fellow Welshman, Jim Williams, in the final. And Wayne obviously won, but I think, you know, to be fair, Wayne has been treated very unfairly by the British Darts Organisation. You know, £100,000 winner's cheque was owed to him, and he was only given £23,000. You know, I've spoke to Wayne last weekend, as it happens, and you know, there's a lot going back and forth asking where the World Trophy is, and Wayne has clearly said it's on my coffee table in the lounge, and it's not going anywhere until I get the money I'm owed. But the BDO, you know, unfortunately is no longer, unfortunately. So Wayne will be heading to Q School along with a load other in January to hopefully join the PDC in 2021.
Hopefully, crossing fingers for a positive and successful 2021 for Welsh Darts here. Dylan, thank you so much for joining me this evening. Hopefully for a Welsh winner at Ali Pali soon. Dylan, thank you.